Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Jamel Gibbs, your family-oriented entrepreneur. Welcome to another video. So this is video number 2 that I'm shooting with Rondell. A lot of people wanted to see the series, so we decided to put it together and show you guys the process of what it takes to start making money in real estate. So today is day 1. We are going to be hunting for deals, which is step number 1 for you. It's what everybody should be doing. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you guys today. Let's get it. We're on our way to a certain area of Greensboro where I think Rondell needs to focus his attention in order to find the best deals. And that's part of step number 1, right? So step number 1, a lot of people think that you need to set up your business first and you need to do all this other stuff before you start finding deals. Let me tell you something. The money is in the deals. If you can't find deals, then everything else is irrelevant. In a buyer's market, you find your buyers first, but in a seller's market, you find your sellers first. In this case, we're finding the deals, right? Because you can still move houses relatively easy in this market right now. So before you start, if you're brand new right now, before you start, thinking about setting up your business and doing this extra stuff that you really don't need to focus on learning what a deal is, knowing how to find them, and then everything else is going to fall into place. You setting up your business it really depends on what your exit strategy is. If you're fixing and flipping, if you're buying and holding, then you probably should set up your business first, right? If you're wholesaling, I would focus on finding a deal. Once you get a deal, you can set up your LLC. It'll take you a couple of days to do it, and then from there you can go ahead and get the deal closed in order for you to get paid. But I wouldn't allow setting up your business stop you from learning how to find deals in real estate. Because at the end of the day, people use the mundane stuff. They use the busy work stuff, like the how do you say it? Setting up your business, for example. They use that as an excuse not to take action on what actually matters in the business, and that's finding deals. And we don't want to waste time finding deals because the person who finds the best deals, the person that understands how to find these deals, the best marketer in the business, gets all the deals and make all the money. All right, man, so we at the first property, older neighborhood, 1940s, 1950s, right around the corner from my flip, the auction property, right? I'm actually in contact with this seller right here to make him an offer and purchase this property because it's literally right around the corner from. We could walk to the auction flip from here, right? But what do you notice about this property?
It has a for sale sign.
So right off the bat, if it got a for sale sign, what is that telling you?
Somebody trying to get rid of it.
They're trying to sell it.
Yeah.
Right? Now, does that mean that every single house that doesn't, if it looks like this, but there isn't a for sale sign on it, there's no for sale sign, does it mean that the person wouldn't be interested in selling?
No.
Right. This one just happened to have a for sale.
You already know it. Yeah.
You already know they want to sell. Yeah. A lot of the times when I'm looking at a house, I don't know if the seller wants to sell it or not, but it looks distressed like this one. And I just reach out to see if there's any interest. Right? To me, those are some of the best deals. Another thing, you're looking at this house. This ain't your. Does this house look like a tear down to you?
No.
Like a house that need to be torn down?
Not at all.
No. So what does it look like to you?
Fixer upper.
A fixer upper. It's dated, right? And what makes it a fixer upper? What do you notice about it? The siding?
Yeah, the siding, and then the part by the windows. Maybe even the railing.
Spider webs, the railing, the roof. The roof is not terrible, but would you replace that roof?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Does it look aged?
I can't
Does
see
it look like a new roof?
that front part don't look bad, but I can't really see because of the glare. But.
So now look at that roof across the street, and then look at this roof. Which one is newer?
That one.
You can tell. This one is definitely aged. right? You might have a couple years left on it, but if you're gonna buy it, you might as well factor that in and redo it. You understand what I'm saying?
How many? If I feel like I could get 3-4 years out of that, would you say replace that now?
Me personally, I would, because it's gonna have to get done anyway. You know what I mean? Especially if you got the money for the investment, you might as well factor that into your budget. If this roof looks like it's older than 15 years, so I'm gonna replace the roof.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The siding, honestly, that siding is not in bad shape at all. So this siding can be painted and pressure washed.
Gotcha.
That's gonna save you money. Them windows are in good shape. But the railing on the stairs, you noticed that already.
Yeah.
What else you notice about the front? Look at the foundation.
I see some holes right here in
you
the
see
bricks.
Some cracks.
Yeah.
Right? So all that stuff got to be filled in. If you walk to the front of the stairs, what I noticed is kind of split down the middle of the front of the stairs too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If we walk around the house, I could show you the electric panel and all that stuff. The electric box to see if that needs to be upgraded. A lot of times, sometimes you might have a 200 amp running to the house, but inside the box need to be upgraded.
Gotcha.
You understand what I mean? So if it has 200 running to the house, that's a good thing. But sometimes that box needs to be upgraded as well. So that's going to cost money. You know what I mean? There's a lot there's only but so much you could see from the outside. But just looking at the outside, a lot of this stuff is maintenance. You know what I mean? With a new roof and some new siding. Even the siding is not terrible. I mean, not the siding, the gutters, they're not terrible, but I would still replace them because it doesn't have all the pieces. You see this one right here?
Yeah.
That's missing the piece that comes down to the bottom. So that's running water, which is going to cause some water issues right there.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? You want to run water away from the house, not down at the house, because it's going to cause puddles, which is going to cause further issues down the line.
Okay.
I mean, but this house, to me, is a good one. The reason why I say a house like this, especially as a beginner, is a good one is simply because, I was talking to a lender today. They said anybody who does over $10,000 in rehab is experienced.
I see.
Right? So this is a light cosmetic rehab for a beginner. Even if you wasn't rehabbing, if you wholesaling, you could probably still get a deal because this house has from a 1 to a 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. I give this house like a 3, right? I think looking at it from the outside, it's taken care of, but it's just dated. But it's not a tear down, it's not a 1.
Okay.
And that's kind of what you want to stick to as a beginner until you get more experience and you understand exactly what you're looking for. That makes sense?
Makes sense.
So why don't we shoot over to another crib, man?
All right.
And then you can kind of, I'm gonna show you a different. Now we're gonna take you to maybe one that needs a lot more work, and you can kind of, because there's one right up the street that I'm looking at as well, literally right down the street. We could walk there.
Okay.
But you'll see a big difference in that one too.
All right.
I mean, let's go there.
All right.
All right. So this property right here, I called up. This is another for sale by owner. Now look at the difference between this property and the property that we just left. Right. This is literally right down the street at the corner. Right now, this property, what do you notice about this one?
Another for sale sign.
For sale sign, right? Now I called them up. This came from one of my bird dogs, guy from right down the street, right? This is an estate sale, right? Okay. So this is going through an attorney. That number on there is an attorney's phone number, right? So I'm on notice with them to call me once this one is ready. Once it's ready, then I can come in here and make my offer and close it.
Okay.
But this property doesn't need a lot of work either. It looks like it does, but when you look at the sides of it, it's in fair shape. It's not a knockdown. What makes this property look bad is what? Tell me.
The bushes.
The bushes, right?
Tree here.
The tree.
Yep.
This one fell. All this stuff got to go, but this is light work when you look at it in the grand scheme of things. So you sometimes got to look past the bushes and actually look at the house. The house is not in bad shape. Yeah, it needs some work, but it's not terrible. You understand what I mean?
Is that a good roof?
That roof is actually better than the other roof.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, would I change that? I got to look at the entire roof to be able to tell. But this roof is, to me is probably 10 years old versus the other roof is a little older. What makes the other roof look a little worse too is under more trees. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at this stuff. When you drive in these neighborhoods, by the way, driving for dollars is the easiest way to start finding these deals. Right? You got to drive these neighborhoods. As a beginner, how much money you starting off with, honestly?
As far as
just
marketing?
Yeah, what are you starting off with right now?
Maybe like
you got
$3 to $5 grand.
All right, so do you have a whole bunch of money?
No.
Right? And most people don't that want to get into this.
Right.
Right? Now, if you got money, it's going to be easier, obviously. If you don't have none, I started off with $250 to my name. Right? So if, in your case, should you be doing direct mail if you only got $3 to $5 grand? No. I'm gonna say no, because then you're gonna be tapping into your last little bit of money, right? So what you need is to understand what to look for. So when you drive in these neighborhoods, this is obvious distress, but it's not a terrible house. You know what I mean? So you need to look for stuff like this. Just a different level of it's still like a 3, in my opinion, just like the other house, but it's not in terrible shape. This is still like a beginner's friendly house. You know what I mean? So when you drive in these neighborhoods, you're looking for stuff like this that can that should be appealing to you. You know what I mean? So I think we could find one more. Maybe we'll go to one that needs 2 months work.
Okay.
In a bad section, and we could kind of talk about that.
Okay.
All right?
Sounds good.
Let's go.
All right.
Looking at this last house, right? A lot of newbie real estate investors will look at this, and what you think? If you was looking at this house, what would you think? You think it's a great deal or not?
I would think it was a good deal.
Why? What makes you think that that's a good deal right there?
It's boarded up. It got the yellow letter on the front.
So,
well, the house is a good deal, but we considering the location.
Boom. And that's where I was going with it, right? So a lot of newbies look at this and say, yo, that's a great deal, driving for dollars, right? But what makes it, it could be a good deal in the right area.
Yeah, if it was somewhere else.
Right? Yeah. What makes it less appealing?
Y'all see you see all the traffic coming by.
Right.
But also, I feel like this could scare a newbie too.
Why?
It looked like it needed a lot of work.
But
it's boarded up.
Real estate educators say go and find the ugliest house in a decent neighborhood, right? This is still a decent area, right? I own houses all up and down here. My point is, people will look at that and say, I could get that cheap. But then you look at everything else that comes with it. It's a high traffic street, and that is a little more work than what a newbie should be looking at. Now, could you wholesale that? Absolutely, right? But even considering the traffic, considering the location, considering all of that work that's behind it. You know what I mean? Look at it. There's a forest behind that thing. You know what I mean? The roof needs to be done. The whole house needs to be done. I can tell just looking at it from the outside, right? So when we're looking at all of that, and we're looking at the high traffic right across the street from Dollar General, you know what I mean? Commercialized area. This might be a good deal if it was inside a neighborhood, but this is in a high traffic area, so this is not a good deal. So we looked at 2 examples of good deals, and then 1 example of a bad deal. You know what I mean? Now you know exactly what you're looking for, and all you gotta do is go out there and find 100 of them, have 50 good conversations, and make 50 offers. Have 50 meaningful conversations, man. 50 conversations that can lead to a potential offer. Even if you made 20, 25 offers, that's really the goal. For every 1 in 25, you're gonna get a contract. So make 25 offers out of 50 conversations, man, and you're good. So if I were you, and for those of you watching this right now, go out and find 100 houses in decent neighborhoods that need some cosmetic work, need some work, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that it need to be torn down, but it needs some work. Have conversations with the owners. Go for 50 of them to start. Make 20 to 25 offers, you'll get 1 contract. All right? So that's an example of what not to look for. All right, so you guys saw 3 examples of houses that need some work on different levels, and what you should be looking for as a beginner. A lot of beginners look at every house that needs work and think it's a good deal. We showed you a perfect example of what not to do or what not to look for as a beginner in the last clip, right? So really your focus should be on finding houses that need some cosmetic work, not an entire rehab, or not a house that needs to be torn down. Look for some, especially as a rehabber, right? And as a beginner, even if you're not a rehabber, if you're looking for a creative finance deal, if you're looking for a wholesale deal, look for these houses that need a moderate amount of work and you can get at a discounted price. Those are the best deals to find as a beginner. And then as your experience grows and you know exactly what you're looking for, then you go after the houses that need a little more work. But the objective here is to find as many of them as possible. I told Rondell to find 100, find 100,000. And I'm being funny when I say that, but not really, because real estate is a numbers game, right? The only way to really achieve what you want to achieve is to put in the work. You got to put in the numbers. It takes a lot of work, a lot of hard work to be able to do this. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, but it's not easy. It's easy for me because I've been doing it for so long. Long story short, the objective here today was to show you what to look for and what not to look for. And go out there and find at least 100 of them. The 100 is just a start, all right? That's not going to make your career. The 100 is just one start of your business, right? It's helping you to understand what a deal is. And the objective is to have as many conversations as you can out of that 100. Shoot for, 30 to 50 with the objective of making 20 to 25 offers out of that and getting one contract. Now, if your numbers don't pan out and out of 100 leads you don't get one, and go for another 100, and then go for another 100 and then another 100, right? Don't think short term in this business. You got to think long term in this business. And that's the only way that you're going to ever succeed in real estate. You got to think long term. Too many people think short term. They think in short spurts. I'll give you an example. I have a software. It's called Investor Deal Pro, right? And a lot of times I see people where they'll be pumped up to get the software, and after 1 month, they're ready to let the subscription go. It's because they're thinking short term. They want to try the software versus use the software, right? And that's a mistake. So you got to think long term in your business. Don't think in short spurts. And you'll be very successful in this. All right, so I hope that helps you out today. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, click the notification bell. I'll see y'all on the next one with my man Rondell. And he's going to come back with 100 properties, and we're going to take it from there. All right, guys. Talk to you later.